This week on Adventures Aboard Toscana, we set out for Dubuque. You only see us go about halfway, but that's all right. We still have our landing drink segment. That's the most important, right? Here we go. Well, here we go. Sabula to Dubuque. And unfortunately, I don't know what the issue was today. You're only going to get the video here from Sabula up to Bellevue. I don't remember what happened. The camera cut out because it got too warm, most likely. But anyway, yeah, you got Savannah here. I'd boated through this area a couple times years ago. I'd come down, put the boat in Savannah, and run up to Dubuque. Sometimes do an overnight, come back. Back when we had boats that you could put on a trailer. I guess technically Toscana could go on a trailer, but it ain't going to go very far. You can see the hillsides are starting to climb. We'll start to see the wonderful bluffs on each side of the river. That well, being from Midwestern Wisconsin, we called it. I always thought it's just some of the most beautiful scenery you can find. A lot of what you're seeing out here on the river, gosh, if you don't like nature, I don't know what to tell you, because you sure get to see a lot of it here on the river. Here we are coming up to Bellevue. Nice little town. We drove through it a couple times, staging cars. See the roller in the distance. The roller gates are down. They're not holding back a whole lot, but they're starting to grab. Mach 12. We started at 27, so we're doing good. There you go. That quick and up. Away we go. Well, here we are again. Another landing drink segment in the same clothes.
You don't necessarily have to point it out. People might not notice.
Well,
okay, they probably would.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they didn't notice it, this is the third week in a row we're showing up in the same clothes. They're not really paying attention.
I could take my sweatshirt off. You can see my t-shirt instead.
Right? Oh, well. Well, anyway, this time you get to see us head up to Dubuque. The water's coming down, as you can tell, it was nice. We had, what did we have? We had the swing bridge right there at Sabula. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, a nice cruise, one lock. Lock 12. And then up to Dubuque. And we stayed at the marina at Ice Harbor. And it's named that because back before we had refrigeration, that harbor was used to to harvest ice.
Yeah.
And for the old ice chest. So anyway, but no, it's a beautiful marina.
Yeah.
Right next door to Mississippi River. It's a museum and it's a aquarium. And surprisingly enough, they do have some saltwater stuff in the aquarium.
Yes, they do. Both fresh and saltwater.
Yes. We, I think it cost us about $50 to go through the thing. For adults, did I feel like I got my money's worth? No, but it was nice.
It was nice.
There was nothing wrong with it. It's geared more toward kids, and that's not a bad thing. So I'm not saying anything bad about it. It wasn't, for us, it wasn't, I don't know if it was a great value, but.
Yeah, because it was a little bit more museum than aquarium than what we were thinking, or what I was thinking. Let me rephrase that. But it was still neat. There was still a lot of neat things to look at, learn about, a lot about the river system in general, and the whole lock system and trying to control the water levels and floods. And so that part was really interesting. And they had some interactive pieces that were just kind of neat to play around with. So it was still worth it. But definitely, if you have kids and you're going through, I would recommend it.
The educational portion is on a kid's level, and it's a great thing. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. We'll say that.
But then after we got done with that, we went back to the marina office because after we checked in, we saw that they had ice cream and we saw that they had some wines from a local vineyard and winery there with a couple unique flavors, one of which we really wanted to try, which was that strawberry rhubarb.
Strawberry rhubarb.
And was that
ever good.
But we like sweet wines, so if you're not a sweet wine drinker, it might not be your cup of tea, but ooh, that was good.
Well, it's the same thing with strawberry rhubarb pie. Now, I like it, but I grew up, they didn't put the strawberries in it. We'd have just rhubarb cobbler, usually is.
Well, then how do you call that strawberry rhubarb pie if it doesn't have strawberries in it?
We didn't call it that. It was just rhubarb cobbler. But what I'm getting at is, not everybody likes that much rhubarb. I'm good with all that.
Well, see, I didn't think it was that. It had a little bit of the tart, but I like a little bit of the sweet and the tart. I didn't think that the tart was too overpowering.
Oh, no, it wasn't. No, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It was definitely not overpowering for me.
It was very good. So much so that I wish we would have thought ahead of time, had the forethought, instead of just getting one bottle to try it, to just get two, and then we would have had one to share with others. Because, that one bottle we took care of.
It went bye-bye.
Yep. It was that good.
What do you mean it was that good? Have you ever seen us open a bottle of wine and not finish it?
On the same night? Yes, I have.
Yeah, if it's not the first bottle. The first bottle. Let me rephrase. Have you ever seen the first bottle we opened? Have you ever seen us not finish that?
I'd have to think really hard to try and find a time. I'm sure there's one in there somewhere, but no.
No, there's not. I can tell you, there's not.
I'm sure I can think of one somewhere. I just have to think really long and hard and maybe find one little time.
We at least get 2 glasses a piece if we have an Arbor Mist, but these other ones, we don't even get hardly 2 glasses a piece. Shoot, I can drink a beer in the time we do a landing drink segment, or a glass of wine.
Be careful with how we pitch this. People are going to think we're alcoholics.
Well, folks, if you didn't read or didn't hear us talking in earlier videos, I'm from Wisconsin. Enough said, right? What's your excuse?
I'm from Northern Illinois, which is right next to Wisconsin.
Yeah, she's almost a Wisconsinite.
I'm better.
She's about, yeah. At what?
Everything.
That's right. She's a legend in her own mind.
Absolutely. Don't you forget it.
But no, Ice Harbor there too. They had some great ice cream.
Yes.
And the town is all real nice and accessible there. It's a great marina. It was the first time I'd been there. The other couple times I've been through Dubuque, I've stopped at the Dubuque Yacht Basin, which is neat. They've got a restaurant called Catfish Charlie's, so that's a neat stop too. But Ice Harbor, if you want to get downtown, real nice for that. But otherwise, I don't know. Anything else that was exciting on that stop?
I don't know if I'd say exciting, but we talked about Twilight and how we were passed by them twice. That is a stop that Twilight makes. So if you don't have your own boat and you want to do a little bit of river cruising, you could go on the Twilight and it can take you down to
Yes.
Dubuque, and they do an overnight stay and they have a deal with the local hotel because you don't stay on that boat. And then you get tickets that include the museum, and then you go back on Twilight and they take you back up, and I forget where it starts at Sabula.
LeClaire. No, LeClaire.
LeClaire, that's
LeClaire.
right.
Yeah, and in the video I talked about that. But yeah, they do the overnight run to Dubuque, and we ran into Captain Kevin there, and that's where I actually got to meet him while we were sitting there. But also they do, when they're in Dubuque sometimes, they do a day cruise up to Guttenberg, Iowa, and back. So you can do a day cruise, or you do an overnight out of LeClaire and back to LeClaire. Both, and it's a class act. He's got a nice setup there. So yes, if you just want to go and check the river out, he'll give you a good tour.
Yep.
But well, I don't know. I think that wraps this up, and we'll see next week from Guttenberg, Iowa ourselves.
Cheers.
Cheers.